In the hush of a sleepy town square, chaos erupted as Axel, a battle-hardened 9, lunged toward an elderly stranger labeled a threat. Heartbeats thundered as steel-clad paw lifted mid-air until Axel froze inches from his target. Instead of sinking his teeth, the dog sank to his haunches, tipping his head in gentle recognition. A collective gasp spread as the old man's trembling hand reached out, meeting the 9's warm muzzle. In that electric moment, past pain and present purpose collided, revealing an unbreakable bond forged in secrets of memory and loyalty. What happened next shattered every expectation. The morning air crackled with tension long before Axel's powerful stride cut through it. Residents of Bridgetown, Missouri, moved about their routines under a pale autumn sun, oblivious to the storm about to break. Rumors had swirled of an unstable old man lingering near children at the playground, prompting a call to the local precinct. Within minutes, sirens sliced through the quiet, announcing the arrival of 2 patrol cars. Officers stepped out with wary eyes, one approaching the man slowly, hands raised in caution, while the other readied Axel, a sleek German shepherd whose reputation had been forged through years of rigorous training. Townsfolk paused in their tracks, sensing the high stakes about to unfold, yet no one could have predicted the bond about to transcend duty. Axel's world had always been defined by discipline and obedience. From the moment he first padded into the K9 unit's training yard, his life was one of commands barked sharp and tasks executed without hesitation. He mastered obstacle courses at dawn, honed his tracking prowess through dense woodlands, and learned bite protocols to neutralize threats on command. He won commendations for his precision and reliability, earning the respect of both his human partners and fellow 9s. But beneath the harness and the service ribbon lay a heart shaped by loyalty, a capacity for memory that transcended the rigid boundaries of protocol. Unknown to most, Axel carried more than scent clues and learned reactions. He carried echoes of a past life, tethered to a friend he had once lost. Raymond Tucker had been a familiar sight long before the word "Afrit" ever crossed anyone's lips. Each morning, he would shuffle into the square, leaning on his cane and dragging tired feet in faded green jacket whose seams had worn thin. At 78, he moved with a deliberate pace, pausing to toss breadcrumbs to the sparrows gathered beneath the old oak. Passers-by greeted his quiet nod. Children waved as they chased pigeons. In pockets of his memory, though, lay sharper images, the battlefield dust of 1972, the crackle of distant gunfire, and the presence of Major, the German shepherd who had stood by him through every patrol. Major had been more than a partner. He was kin, his life extinguished in an instant by a hidden landmine. That loss hollowed Raymond, severing his ability to welcome another dog into his world. When the officers spotted Raymond near the playground, they saw only an elderly man humming softly to himself. He turned at their calls with a puzzled expression, cupping his ear and offering a tentative wave. The junior officer misinterpreted the gesture as defiance. Axel was unleashed with a single command: attack. Muscles coiled beneath his short fur, nostrils flared. For a moment, time stretched thin. Then Axel bounded forward, paws thudding against the cobblestones, a living missile aimed straight at the solitary figure. Hearts pounded, breaths caught in throats, children's laughter froze mid-air, and then in the space of a heartbeat, Axel's world shifted. Just inches from Raymond's weathered coat, Axel halted, his shoulders relaxed, throat unclenched. Without warning, he lowered himself to a sit. The officers barked repetition of attack, cut through the stunned silence, but Axel paid no heed. He tilted his head, eyes softening as they settled on the old man's face. Confusion rippled through the crowd. Some shouted at the dog, others stepped forward to intervene, yet Axel remained firmly planted, nose dipping toward Raymond's trembling hand. It was as if a delicate thread connected their souls across decades, a silent handshake of recognition that transcended years and separations. The tension that had gripped the square dissolved into a collective hush of awe. In that breathless moment, memories unfurled for both dog and man. Raymond's fingers brushed Axel's muzzle, recalling the rough fur of Major and the warmth that had once been his anchor. Tears welled in his eyes as he whispered a name almost too tender to voice. Axel leaned in, nudging the old veteran's hand with quiet insistence, as though to reassure him that he too remembered. Around them, phones emerged to capture the miracle in motion, a trained attack dog defying orders to comfort a stranger. Officers lowered their arms, mouths agape, while bystanders held their breath, witnessing a bond forged anew by loyalty's invisible force. The aftermath brimmed with apologies and astonished chat. The commanding officer admitted disbelief, mumbling that Axel had never disobeyed in countless operations. Yet here he was, a canine warrior kneeling before the very person he was meant to subdue. Within days, the Bridgetown Police Department reached an unexpected decision. Axel was due to retire within the year, and they wanted Raymond to adopt him. When an officer delivered the invitation, Raymond's eyes flickered with hope that had long lain dormant. He didn't hesitate. The morning Axel joined Raymond at the edge of the square in a civilian collar, side by side. Passers-by paused to greet them with cheers and tears. The old green jacket had new company, and Raymond's gait, once uncertain, now carried a steadier rhythm. Their reunion redefined the meaning of service and sacrifice. Axel, once bound by commands, learned that some orders came from the heart. Raymond, who had lost his partner to war's cruelty, discovered that memories embraced could span lifetimes. Neighbors spoke of the pair with reverence, marveling at how a trained predator had transformed into a gentle companion at the whisper of a forgotten name. Children now flocked to Axel's side, enchanted by his calm presence, while Raymond refound laughter in their delighted squeals. Together they wandered familiar paths under golden leaves, two souls mending through the simple act of shared trust. This story reminds us that true loyalty transcends commands and that the heart often knows what the mind cannot command. In a world governed by orders and expectations, it takes courage to pause, to heed the whisper of memory, to choose compassion over authority. Axel's split-second hesitation showed a capacity for love rarely witnessed in park squares or battlefield perimeters. Raymond's open palm symbolized the enduring power of remembrance, the ability to extend forgiveness to those who serve and protect. Their bond speaks to something deeper within us all, the yearning for connection that time and loss cannot erase. If this tale moved you as it moved us, share your own stories of unexpected bonds in the comments below. Tell us about the moment when loyalty surprised you, when compassion broke through the noise of obligation. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to join our community of storytellers who believe in the extraordinary power of the human-animal connection. Because in every corner of our world, miracles wait in silent recognition, ready to bloom at the touch of a remembered name. In the weeks that followed, the story of Axel and Raymond spread beyond Bridgetown's borders, touching hearts in distant towns and sparking conversations about what it truly means to serve. Visitors traveled to the square just to witness the duo's daily ritual, Axel padding beside his master as Raymond offered crumbs to sparrows, both figures framed by autumn's amber light. Even the officers who once summoned Axel to attack now greeted him with respectful nods, humbled by the lesson he taught them, that duty can be reshaped by empathy, and obedience can yield to compassion when guided by the heart. Local schools invited Raymond to speak about resilience, and children listened wide-eyed as he recounted Major's bravery and Axel's quiet defiance. Every handshake, every shared glance between man and dog reminded the community that bonds forged in adversity need not end in sorrow. Instead, they can bloom anew, teaching us that the deepest form of loyalty is the one that chooses kindness over command.